The next 5 years will make or break you. And most people, they won't even realize until it is too late. Now in this video, I am going to give you the blueprint. I am going to pull back the curtain and show you the global shift that is being driven by blockchain and AI that is happening right in front of us. I am going to cover why this shift will happen with or without you. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how I am positioning myself to put my family ahead over the next 5 years. So hopefully you can take some inspiration for your own game plan. Now, if you're new here, you've never come across me before, right? My name is Harry Livingston, and I like to think of myself as an entrepreneur / macro trader. And I have spent the last 8 years navigating the crypto space, where I've been learning, adapting, and putting my money where my mouth is to get my skin in the game. Now, in that time, I've built up a pretty substantial investment portfolio. I scaled my personal brand to over 250,000 followers, helping thousands of people make sense of the game. And I co-founded a project that hit nearly $500 million in market cap. And market cap, for those of you who are wondering, is the overall value of the token, okay? The overall value was just shy of 480 million, which is pretty mad when I think about it now, considering we built that company from the mud from a chance meeting in Spain. And they now have their app available to download on the App Store. And it just shows, right? And it's proof in the pudding that anything is possible when you first believe and work like fuck to make it possible. Now, I started my YouTube channel back in 2020, right? And before I even posted my first video, I managed to get 2,000 subscribers on the platform, which was a very rare thing at the time. And I got a wicked response when I did release the initial videos. Considering how shaky I was on them first runs, I mean, looking back at it now, watching myself in the videos, it does make me giggle. And it really shows you that growth is real. But I never kept the train running. I posted them initial 2 videos. Once the last cycle of 2021 really got in full swing, I closed down my education company, which was on a high 6-figure run rate. We had between 300 and 400 members bringing in some quite decent money. And I just woke up one day, right? And messaged every single person and just said, cancel your subscriptions. Now, I didn't have to do this. Bear in mind, I know many people who would not have done it. I could have carried the group on, but I knew that my energy was going to be elsewhere. We had just launched Prize. I was moving into building and launching projects at the time, and it just didn't feel right to keep charging people monthly subscriptions for a group where my heart wasn't really in it. And I kind of just took a step back from social media, and it's been that way ever since. And you can see that just from going to look at my channel. I mean, I post here and there, maybe a story once or twice a month, sometimes 2 months at a time with no post or no story. I really took a step back from social media. And the only time that I have truly been consistent with my socials, where you post the 2 videos guaranteed every day, was when I first built my TikTok. And I was dedicated with them 2 videos a day. But since then, as I said, you can see that for yourself, I've took a large step back. And in that time, we did spread the message and change a lot of lives in the process. And I know that because I still get the messages to this day, especially now the ball runs back and everyone can see that their long-term commitment is paying off. Now, every time I receive a message or a comment, it really reminds me of why I first picked up the camera and started TikTok in the first place. Thinking back on it now, I had nothing to sell, the world was turning upside down, everyone was getting locked down, and I turned to the camera and just started sharing my views. Now, that is the reason that we are back here today. Why I am back on YouTube after 4+ years going ghost. And that is because I still get the messages to this day. H, how do I get started? I'm new to this, brother. Where do I begin? I've heard it's all a scam. Should I even invest my money? The messages are still pouring in, right? And after some very deep reflection throughout 2024, now I really don't want to get spiritual here, right? But I now believe more than ever that it is my duty to spread this message. I feel that I have a duty to create this content and try and empower as many people as possible. Now, as I said, I don't want to get spiritual here. That's for another video entirely. But I feel now more than ever that I have a duty to create this content. And looking back and analyzing, right, my content has mainly been on TikTok and Instagram in short, quick clips on platforms where people are scrolling and searching for the next dopamine boost. Now, I ain't throwing any shade on these platforms, right? I love TikTok. It provided the come up for me and many others that I know. But when it comes to sharing knowledge and really trying to help guide you through the next 5 years in a free sense, then the logical platform is YouTube. where we can lock in together and really dive down that rabbit hole for those of you who want more than the 60-second hit. Now it's time I let you know, right, that this channel is not going to be fancy gimmicks, shining objects, and Barry Big Dick versus Sally Big Tits. The old everyone, look at me, please, I need some validation. No. If you want that sort of content, then you know where to go, right? This is just going to be me showing you what I am seeing play out and my journey on how I'm preparing myself and my family through this shift, so hopefully you can take some inspiration when it comes to building your own game plan. Now with the intro done and out of the way, right, as I covered with you, this video is going to be the blueprint, the video that pieces together the dots and will help provide you with a clear roadmap and strategy that you can implement as a complete beginner in as little as 5 minutes per month. That will allow you to capitalize on the next 5 years and put you and your family ahead. Now this strategy is not chasing meme coins, the high risk plays, or even the cycle for that matter, as that is a different game entirely, okay? This is the blueprint for building wealth through this shift that I have personally used for the last 5 years and will continue to use for the next 5 years, along with many family members, friends, and associates that have personally seen success using this strategy. So, notepads out, distractions minimized, as you are going to want to pay attention, and let me head over to the laptop where I'm going to share my screen and we can dive right into it. So let's get right to it with step 1 of the blueprint, which is history, okay? And like I said, guys, get your pen and paper out. Take notes throughout this video. I'm not here to gain your attention with fancy edits. I'm here to drop the knowledge, right? And give you the full blueprint A to Z. And the first step of that blueprint is history. And in a saying I'm sure a lot of you have heard me say before, that is, history doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme, okay? And the reason I say this is because understanding history will allow you to predetermine and come to a conclusion of what is going to happen in the future, okay? Now, I've been a history nerd since a kid. Since a little kid, I was always interested, right, who was the king at this time? Who done that for that country? How did that country get there? How did this turn to that? I've just always wanted to know the answers, right? I've always been a little history geek since I was a kid, and that naturally leads into being interested in the future, okay? And as our Winston Churchill stated, the farther backward you can look, the farther forward you are likely to see. When you understand history, you understand what is played out in history before, it really helps you come to the conclusion of what you believe is going to play out in the future, which is going to help you build your conviction in your investments, something we're going to get to later on in this video, which you are going to need when moving forward, all right? So step 1 is history. And the main aim of this step is to get your mind right, okay? To get your mindset right so you are prepared. The main thing we need to be prepared to take advantage of this strategy and really build wealth through this shift is we need you ready. You, the driver, the person who is going to make all this come together, right? We need to get you correct and aligned. And that's why I take you through step 1, history. Now, the first thing I want to take you through in this blueprint, in step 1, is I want to cover what is a shift. I'm sure, again, a lot of you have heard me say this online. The digital transfer, the digital shift. You've heard me say it in this video. What exactly is a shift, right? I want to explain it to you. A shift is when everything changes, okay? Now, I've got a little diagram here, and this diagram is quite fitting, right? Click on it. You see a little tool up here, the AI tool. One of the technologies that I'm going to be walking you through in this video, right? So I use this little tool, text a diagram, provided a prompt saying, can you show me a flowchart from the first industrial revolution up until now, okay? And this was the chart that was provided. Now, for those of you who don't know what the first industrial revolution was, before that, we was farming and agriculture. Everything human beings done had to be completed manually by a human, right? The first industrial revolution was when machines started to come into the mix. Now, this graph, I can't change any of the writing on this graph. This was created by AI. It's pretty bang on, so we can use it. One little tweak at the end, which we'll go over, which I want to change, shows you the first industrial revolution was textile, steam power, and iron production, right? And this was around an 80-year period. From start to finish, this was the first industrial revolution. We moved from farming, agricultural, and everything being done manually to having machines that can complete the tasks of 5 to 10 humans at once. And when you understand the power of that and the changes that that is going to bring to the world, okay, you can really be open to opportunity if you look for it, which we are going to go over. So we had the first industrial revolution. We then went over to the second industrial revolution, where we had the steel production, electricity, chemical manufacturing. Then we moved over to the third industrial revolution, okay, with the digital revolution, electronics and information technology. And now, according to AI, right, as AI drafted this, we have been in the fourth industrial revolution since 2010. Now, I do tend to agree with this. Bitcoin was first released in 2008, coming on to the beginning of 2009. AI has been around about the same sort of time. So yeah, I would agree with this, okay? Since 2010, we have technically been moving into the fourth industrial revolution. And here's something interesting. So according to AI, okay, the three things that we are going to be moving into with the fourth industrial revolution is the Internet of Things, which is essentially blockchain and Web 3.0, artificial intelligence, which we will be covering in this video, AI, and robotics. So this is spot on. As we can see, AI is being rolled out mainstream. There are many companies, including Elon with the Optimus robot, that are looking to roll out robots towards the end of this year. So this is pretty much bang on, right? And I'm sure you've noticed that these shifts happen in stages, okay? It's not just overnight, right? We're going from the first industrial revolution to the second. Everything packs in overnight. The shift has happened. The opportunity is over. It doesn't work like that, right? This is over gradual periods of time and it happens in stages. Now, as this was a graph that was created by AI, of course, it's put 3 stages in each revolution, right? I imagine just to keep things nice and clean. But there would have been more than 3, okay? More than 3 stages in each revolution. Some might have had 2, some may have had 3 or 4. I imagine the graph has just done this, as I said, to make things look clean. But what I would add on is I believe we have already had the first stage of the fourth industrial revolution, and that is with the rise of connectivity and the internet. All we do today, what you guys are doing right now, watching this video, everything we do is online. Our connection, our information, how we speak and talk to each other, everything is done online, right? So I believe the first stage of this shift has already taken place. It's just not been placed in this graph, and I cannot physically edit it to put it in there for you, right? So I believe we have already had the first stage of this revolution. And what does that provide? It provides opportunity, okay? When we move from one revolution to the other, when everything changes, the technology we are using changes for something new. Just like in the first industrial revolution, right? When everyone was using steam power and iron production. Then we moved into the second industrial revolution where we started using steel and electricity. So everyone that was powering their machines with steam power now seen this new thing that come around called electricity. And it wasn't like it was now, right? Wasn't available in every home to everybody. It took a while to catch on, okay? And people to truly move from the steam power over to the electric power. And this is where the opportunities come in, right? Opportunity is at the crossover. The crossover between each revolution is where there is opportunity for us to build generational wealth. But, there's a few things I need you to take in. So look at this. 80 years was the first industrial revolution. 44 years for the second industrial revolution. 50 years for the third. And we are 15 years in, according to this graph, if it started in 2010, okay? So as you see, these opportunities and these shifts occur over a long drawn out period of time, right? And there is opportunity available in these crossovers for those who know how to look for it, right? Now you might be thinking, so I know H, you've just shown me there's an opportunity there. I get it. There was the first industrial revolution. We all changed over. I understand now we're going over to artificial intelligence and blockchain for those of you who are familiar with where we're heading already, right? You might be thinking, okay, so you've shown me. I understand. I know there's opportunity. And thinking that you would be wrong, right? Because you are missing the number one thing you need to really build wealth through this cycle. And as I said, I'm going to give it to you in this blueprint. And step 1 starts with you, right? So you know there's opportunity at the crossover. And you know we're at the crossover right now, okay? And you understand what the shifts are. But what you truly need, right? What you truly need in order to take advantage of opportunity is you first must see the opportunity is there, right? Let's go back in history, right? Let's really go through a lesson here, which is really going to apply to what I am teaching you throughout this blueprint, right? You need to understand this. Now, where do we get our information and our programming? Not in our conscious mind, but our subconscious mind. Where does our programming come from and the information in our subconscious patterns that drives 99% of what we do moving through life, right? Where does that come from? Now, I can tell you, it is ingrained into 99.9% of us from birth, okay? Up until the age of 7, our brain is predominantly in what's known as the theta stage. Now, the theta stage is when you are very susceptible and liable to learn, okay? To take in the environment around you and really adapt to what is going on and build your subconscious programming. Up until the age of 7, that is when our subconscious programming is written, all right? Now, what I want you to take note of is, what do we learn during this time? Up until the age of 7, what is it that we truly learn, okay? And from my analysis, what we do is we learn how to follow. We learn how to follow. Now, this is not me going off on we're sent to school to get taught how to be workers. Look, that's a totally different story. Not saying there's not truth in it. What I'm saying here is we learn how to follow for good or for bad. This is not to do with being brainwashed in schools. This is for good or for bad. We learn how to interact with others, how to tie our shoelaces, how to use our knife and fork. Everything we do, right, up until the age of 7, what we are doing is we are following. We are following the environment that we are in. We're following the norm for that environment. Now, when I say the norm, I love to use this example of monkey see, monkey do, okay? Monkey see, monkey do. When we are growing up, we see what the other monkeys are doing, and we like to follow along. We like to conform. As humans, naturally, we are subconsciously programmed to conform, right, with the environment around us. Monkey see, monkey do. And one critical thing that I need you to understand and take in here is, up until the age of 7, you are learning, you are following, you are doing monkey see, monkey do, right? And you are also having a big warning imprinted on your subconscious mind, and that is, do not follow the odd monkey. We are not built to follow the odd monkey. You take a group of 10 monkeys, right? 9 of them go over here to do one thing. Another monkey heads over there to do another thing. Introduce some more monkeys to the mix. They are going straight over here to the 9 monkeys. They're not following the odd monkey because we're programmed. We are programmed to conform. Don't do things that make us stand out and become the odd monkey, right? We are programmed. This warning is imprinted on our mind to not follow the odd monkey. We monkey see, monkey do, okay? We follow what the other monkeys are doing, and we also have it imprinted on us to not follow the odd monkey. And understanding this, right? Understanding this truly is the first step in preparing yourself mentally to build wealth through this shift. When you really learn to understand, right, that, okay, up until the age of 7, my brain is in what's known as theta stage. This is all scientific facts, okay, guys? And that is when your subconscious programming is printed on you. And in that time, you know that what we are doing is we are learning to follow, monkey see, monkey do. And we also have a big warning of to not follow the odd monkey. We all have this imprinted on us, whether we like it or not, okay? It is imprinted on us, and you need to understand it, as understanding this is the first step in preparing yourself mentally to really build wealth through this shift, like I said, okay? And I really need you to take that in, guys, right? Because there will be forces against you when you are on this journey, right? Powers to be that do not want the natural order of things disturbed. And I thought it was fitting, I put a newspaper. As we're going through the history stage, I thought it was fitting to use the newspaper. Of course, you guys know how information is spread nowadays. Internet, phone, connection, it's right in our faces. And this is how the powers to be that do not want the natural order disturbed keep things in check and keep things in line, okay? And it all connects back to monkey see, monkey do with your subconscious programming. They use triggers that are going to trigger our subconscious patterns to, without us even knowing it, all right? They're naturally going to push us away from opportunity. I'm going to really break it down to you in this video, okay? But the first thing we are going to go over, it's the first question I get whenever I reveal this to anyone. And once I give the explanation in the way I'm about to give it, right, it helps a lot of people have that moment where everything just clicks and they think, oh my God, I understand now. Now I understand why it's that way. Because the question is, why? Why is it this way? Why are there powers to be that try to keep everyone away from opportunity? If you don't quite understand it, the question you are going to be asking yourself, it's going to be why? I just don't understand why. Why is it like that? And let me really explain it to you now, right? So hopefully you can have that click moment for yourself. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine that all of the wealth was spread evenly, right? All of the wealth was gathered from around the world, was gathered up tonight, and it was evenly distributed to everyone, okay? Everyone had the wealth evenly distributed, meaning that not everybody had to go to work in the morning in order to pay the bills. Because guys, we know majority of the population only go to work every day to get the money to pay the bills, the system we all live in, okay? If the wealth was evenly distributed, what does that mean? that means that everyone doesn't have to go to work in the morning. It would mean that potentially everyone now has their own choices. And what that leads to is the world would destabilize and collapse overnight, okay? Overnight, everything would destabilize and collapse. If we gathered up the wealth, we said, right, let's just share the wealth evenly. There you go, everyone, share the wealth. The world would destabilize and collapse within 24 hours, right? There must be order. And hopefully this really helps you understand why this must be in play. Why are there powers to be that don't want the natural order disturbed? It's because there must be natural order. There must be rich and poor. If everyone didn't go to work in the morning, the world as we know it would destabilize and collapse, okay? And when you understand that, you think, oh, I get it. With what else I'm going to walk you through in this video, you finally start to click. Things finally start to click for you and you start to understand, okay, now I get it. Now I get why the information is kind of kept hidden from me, right? And the second response I get from people when we go over this, and it does all click, it clicks for them, they understand it, is they then look at me and say, right, well, then why am I trying to do this? If the world is the way it is and the system is the way it is and I have to be in this place, then why am I trying to escape something that is purposely put around me? And this is my response, right? It's very, very simple, guys. You cannot break the system. No matter what anybody does, the system won't break. I can make 100 videos tomorrow, get 100 billion views. The world wouldn't change. I'd probably die in a car crash when I leave my house, right? The world wouldn't change though. I can be quite sure that nothing would change no matter what anybody does, as this system must be in play, right? So yes, you cannot break the system. The system can't be broken. But you can break out of the system. You can break out of the system, right? Yes, you can't break the system. The system will stay. But it doesn't mean that you, the tiny little grain of sand out of the 7 to 8 billion people on this planet, can't have your shot at getting yourself out of the system, okay? You're never going to break the system, but you can break yourself out of the system. And this is what I really want to get across here. If you implement everything I'm going to give you in this blueprint, okay? So I need you to understand this, right? There will be forces against you when you are on your journey, and there is a reason why these forces exist, okay? Because if we go back to an example of how these forces work, history doesn't repeat, but it does tend to rhyme. We can see how history does tend to rhyme, okay? And what these forces were doing during the last opportunity, which, as I covered with you guys from this graph, I believe was the rise of connectivity, social media, and the internet, right? I think that is we've already had our first stage of this revolution, and it was the rise of the internet, right? So we can now take a look at examples from the last shift, and we can prepare ourselves to see, okay, how do these forces act? What have I got to be aware of? What have I got to prepare myself for, right? And the first thing I want to show you, I show this to everyone, is this right here, right? The Daily Mail posted on Tuesday, the 5th of December, the year 2000. Now, for those of you that don't live in the UK, the Daily Mail is a very reputable source for news. Well, it was during this era, right? This was the era, there wasn't phones, we weren't scrolling. We had the newspaper and we had the news on the TV. That was all we had. And the Daily Mail in the UK was a very reputable source, right? Meaning people, when they saw this, would take it for gospel. They would believe it and they would say, okay, that's a very reputable source, so I'm going to listen to what they got to say. Now, I need you to really understand this, right? As look what you are reading here. The internet may just be a passing fad as millions give up on it. Now, don't worry about the small print below. The average human has got the attention span of a goldfish. They're not even getting 3 words in there, right? All they're seeing, and the powers to be notice, all they're seeing is this headline. 99% of people, they're not reading the small print. They're just going to see the headline in their subconscious. Their subconscious programming will see this headline and naturally push you away from the opportunity without you even realizing it, okay? This is very powerful stuff, and it's very important that you understand this. And why is this so important and why is this so significant, right? So look at the date. Tuesday, December the 5th, the year 2000. And we need to cover something and get really real here, right? And that is investments and how investments are not applied mainstream. The word investing is understood. Everybody knows what the word investing means. But is the word investing actually applied by the mainstream? And that is no. If you go out your house now, go and knock on every single one of your neighbor's doors and just say to them, do you invest in stocks and shares? Do you invest in crypto? Not someone who bought a token in a bull run trying to make money. I mean a real investor, right? If you said to someone, Do you invest in stocks and shares? Do you invest in cryptocurrency? Everyone that you knock on is just going to look at you point blank in the eye and say, no, why would I do that? The world is not pushed towards investing, okay? So why I'm telling you this is, let's imagine that the year 2000, you was getting there. You was close. You was thinking, right, you had already taken them first few steps and you realized, I need to start investing. You had seen the internet, you had seen this new technology, and you yourself thought, hang on, this is a really wicked bit of tech. I do think that there is a chance that this could be adopted. I really think this is smart. I might invest in the internet. So you're already there. You're halfway there, right? Most people, as we know, they don't invest, right? They don't invest. The only investments that we're told to make is the home that we live in, which isn't technically an investment, okay? It's a liability, going off the definition of what a liability is, because we need to pay rent, we need to pay council tax, electric, gas, etc., etc. So it's not technically an investment, right? It's not a cash flow and investment, and that is the only investment the majority of the population are guided towards. So back to our example. You're in the year 2000. You are there. You've seen the internet, you're thinking, hang on, I'm going to invest in this. I do. I want to start paying myself first. I want to start getting myself a chunk of what's going on here. And then you see the good old Daily Mail. Good old Daily Mail. Just as you're passing by, you look to the left. Internet may be a passing fad. Millions are giving up on it. You're not reading the small print. Millions are giving up on it. It's a fad. The Daily Mail. Good old Daily Mail. It's pushed you away from the opportunity that you was building up for yourself, right? You was getting so close, and then your subconscious programming, seen this, instantly was pushed away without you even knowing it, right? Without you even knowing it, your subconscious program has pushed you away because this headline you seen from the good old Daily Mail. And what is even more interesting about this, we see the date, Tuesday, December the 5th, the year 2000. Now, what I want to note to you is what was happening at this time. So while James Chapman was writing his article on the Daily Mail, our good old James, who probably didn't have a Scooby-Doo what the internet even was, he just was trying to utilize your attention, thinking, right, what is the best headline I can write to get their attention? Just like what's happening today. Short form content, clickbait, nothing has changed, right? All our James wanted to do was get your attention and get readers. He didn't actually care if he was pushing millions of people away from an opportunity, which, as we've seen now history has played out, was the biggest opportunity of that generation, okay? Our James did not give a shit about that. James just wanted headlines, okay? So while our James was writing this, what was going on? December the 5th, year 2000. What I can show you is our Google. Everyone who has an internet connection probably uses Google at least once a day. One of the largest companies on the planet. It was available. I mean, all you have to do is just look at the website and you can see here, right? Google was available in the year 2000. And also, what else was happening in the year 2000? Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos in his office with his sign that it looks like they've had to draw themselves because they couldn't afford to make it. So this was what was playing out. This was what was playing out in the year 2000. We had Google launching and Amazon. Two of the giants from the last shift, from the start of the last shift. Now, you don't need me to tell you, if you would have invested into Amazon and Google in the year 2000, implemented the strategy that we're going to show you in this video, today in 2025, you, your kids, your kids' kids, your kids' kids' kids, you would have generational wealth beyond comprehending, right? If you truly implemented the strategy and you invested into these two giants of the last shift, you would have built generational wealth for yourself. But our James had a different idea. Our James wanted to let you know that, look, this is just a passing fad and millions are going to be giving up on it. So guys, you really need to understand, right? You really need to understand that the powers to be are there. They are trying to work against you and you need to be aware of it. Okay? So how do we deal with this? When we know the powers to be are trying to trigger our subconscious mind, they're trying to push us away from opportunities, how do we deal with it? Now, I do have a rule, right? I have one rule that will help really put you where you need to be, all right? And the rule is very, very simple. You've probably heard me say this before, for those of you who follow me. The rule is, follow what the big money do, not what they say, okay? As I said, you guys have probably heard me cover this a lot online for those of you who follow me on TikTok, right? Follow what the big money do, not what they say. Now, for me to really explain this to you, what I mean when I say this, what do I mean when I say that, is I can just show you, right? I can take you to the water and just show you. Now, let's take an example with the Bank of England, okay? The Bank of England warns on cryptocurrency risks. So what we see here is this is what the Bank of England is saying. This is the blubber that's coming out of their mouth, and it is, we are warning you on cryptocurrency risks. Again, guys, just like with the last example, right? You're thinking about investing. You've been hearing about crypto. You've been diving down the rabbit hole. You're getting close. You're nearly there to taking that final leap. And then you see the BBC, Bank of England warns you on cryptocurrency risks, and you're thinking, oh, so it's risky? Subconsciously, you're pushed away from it, okay? The same playbook's just being played out at different times, right? But that is what they're saying. It's what they was telling you. It's what was coming out their mouth. But what were they doing? Follow what the big money do, not what they say, okay? So that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying to you. But here's what they're actually doing. On the Bank of England's website, no hearsay, from the horse's mouth, okay? On the Bank of England's website, we are looking at the case for issuing a digital pound. The type of money is known as a central bank digital currency. Do you know what central bank digital currency is, guys? A currency, a cryptocurrency. The very thing they are warning you against. So what they are saying here, what's coming out of their mouth, is, look, it's a warning, stay away. But you go and look at what they're doing, where they put in their money, what moves are they actually making. Oh, these guys are building their own cryptocurrency. So it can't be that risky if they're building their own. You guys really understand here, right? Now, look, I could load 100 tabs, right? I could take you through 100 different examples, but I'm not here to do that. This isn't a 4 to 5 hour video. I'm here to take you to the water. I've just shown you. You follow what they do, not what they say. You will find hundreds of examples like this from top banks, CEOs, and people around the world, and you will start to see that this web extends very large, right? This is a universal rule that people can't step over. We need to tell them one thing and do the complete opposite. So what you're going to do in order to counteract all of it is you're just going to understand that this is taking place, and you are going to follow rule 1, which is follow what the big money do, not what they say. Don't listen to the garbage just coming out of their mouth. You know now deep down, you've been unlocked through this video. You know that they do not have your best interests at heart, right? Financially, if the wealth was spread evenly overnight, the finance is the number one thing, right? They do not have your best interests at heart when it comes to finance. I can promise you that, guys, right? So follow what the big money do, not what they say. If you implement this rule, it is going to put you in a real high standing. And I wanted to point this out, right? Like Albert Einstein said, the important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing, right? Now, what I would tell you is, if you don't question, if you go through life just being told and you just take that for gospel, you don't go out and question and try and come to your own decision, then you are a very ignorant person, okay? A very ignorant person, and you deserve what's coming over the next 5 years. If what's going on around you, you are so ignorant to the point where you are not even willing to research it and have your own opinion on it. Now, this probably doesn't apply to anybody watching this video now, because you're here watching this video. You're diving down the rabbit hole. You are trying to learn. But for people that are really trying to bury their heads in the sand throughout this shift, it is just plain ignorance, okay? What you need to do is open your eyes and always question. Always question. As Albert Einstein said, the important thing is never stop questioning. Always look for the answer, right? Don't just get told something. Go and find the answer for it yourself, and it will put you in a such strong standing in your life moving forward, all right? Now, if you implement what I've just walked you through, right, in step one of this blueprint, where we went through history to really get you and your mind right, if you implement what I've just taken you through, you study history to see that it does tend to rhyme. There are powers to be that are against you. You understand the opportunity that these shifts provide. You understand that there is opportunity available to us here when we can see that opportunity, right? You know that forces will be against you, including your own mind. Your own mind, your subconscious programming, you understand that is against you, and you are now aware, because awareness is key, right? And you also understand that you need to follow what the big money do and not what the big money say. If you truly go through this, right? It's 2025, guys. You can pause, play, rewind the video. Anything you didn't understand, get it in the comments. I will do my best to answer you. I'll make a separate video covering the entire subject if need be. But anything you don't understand, pause, play, rewind, pen and paper, go back. This is step one. Step one is history and understanding that we have you primed and ready for the future, okay? This is very, very important, right? You do all of this, then you will mentally be prepared for the next steps. which leads us on to the next step. And step 2 is opportunity. So step 1 is history. We take you through history. We work on you, the driver. Step 2 is the opportunity, right? This is where we go over today's opportunity with blockchain and AI. So you really understand what is in front of you. The massive opportunity that is right in front of you, and anyone in any position has the ability to take advantage of this opportunity due to the decentralized nature of the investments we are making. And we will get to that point, okay? Don't let the jargon and the big words confuse you. I will break it all down for you. Now, with today's opportunity with blockchain and AI, I'm sure a lot of you that follow my content, I've been covering this for many years. The world is changing, okay? These two technologies, as I am going to show you and walk you through, are driving this global shift and providing the opportunity that we need to build generational wealth for ourselves and our family. Now, the first step is understanding opportunity, okay? Now, I can give you the strategy, which I am going to give you. I'm going to give you the strategy in this video. But if I give you the strategy without the understanding, without the necessary cogs that you need, then you are not going to be able to successfully use the strategy. The strategy won't work for you and you won't be able to pull it off long term because you don't have the understanding, right? Everyone is too quick to jump in. Right, what token do I buy? Brother, you're asking me what token to buy. Or sister, no sexist, right? But you're asking me what token to buy. You haven't even got your mindset right. And I know you ain't got your mindset right because you're asking me what token to buy. You are hoping for a get-rich-quick scheme and you need to get your mind right first. Right? So this is why it's very important that I take you through the understanding first. Now, the first thing I need you to understand about the shift that we are currently in, about today's opportunity with blockchain and AI, right, is number one, is this time it is different, right? We are not moving at human speed. And really take this for gospel. Really take this seriously, what I am revealing here, right? We are not moving at human speed and we have 5 years left. The title of this video, the next 5 years will make or break you, and I truly believe that, right? If you don't implement what I'm going to walk you through in this video in some way, shape or form, the next 5 years are going to break you. And I have no shadow of a doubt about that in my mind, okay? There are only 5 years left. And I've been saying this for a very long time. If you go back on my TikTok, I released a mini-series back in 2020, 5 years ago now, right? Where I was covering the World Economic Forum advert and their predictions for 2030. And I said throughout this entire little mini-series the importance of the year 2030. But now we have had AI moved in. Everything I can see playing out. It's just happening even more beautifully in the timeline to what I thought initially, right? And to what I initially anticipated. And we truly have 5 years left, right? Now, let me show you and explain this, right? Elon Musk. Pretty sure everyone watching this right now, you know who Elon Musk is, right? Now, he has predicted that AI will reach superhuman intelligence and be smarter than all people on Earth by the end of next year. And that is this year, because this article was wrote 9 months ago, okay? That is the end of 2025. It is going to be smarter than all humans on Earth. Now, when it comes to AI, right, for those of you who are not using this technology, I've spoken to a lot of people recently, and 99% of people, from what I can see, they are oblivious and ignorant to what is happening right in front of them, okay? You've all watched the Terminator movie. You've seen what AI is. It's artificial intelligence, right? And if you really dive down a rabbit hole, not just creating pictures and videos and writing you an email or two, and you really start to understand what this technology is doing, you will understand how profound this is and why we do truly only have 5 years left, right? So that is Elon saying by the end of next year, AI will be superhuman intelligence, right? But what I need you to take note of, what no one is talking about, what I need you to take note of is AI agents, okay? This is an article on Forbes stating that AI agents aren't taking jobs, they're in fact remaking jobs. Now, to explain an AI agent to you in a very simple term, for those of you who have used AI before, you've used ChatGPT, you've made an image online, you've done something with AI, right? You understand that AI is prompt for prompt. So you write to ChatGPT, you give it a prompt, and it will give you one prompt back, okay? It can't give you 3-4 prompts over a set duration of time. For example, you can't prompt ChatGPT at 6 o'clock and then say to him, right, write me something back now, but then also at 7 o'clock, come back and write me something at 7 o'clock also. That is not possible with the language models that we use. But to explain an AI agent, right, they have autonomy. It is not prompt for prompt. An AI agent, you could tell an agent, and they are coming for every sector, guys, right? You need to take notice of what I am walking you through right here, okay? AI agents, just to give you an example, you could tell an agent, right, in the morning, scan the entire internet, find the best news article on the internet, then take that news article and rewrite it into our own article, and then go and create an image to host on that article, and then go and actually post that article on the site, then go and run ads against that article, and then whatever you want an AI agent to do, it can do, okay? Go and book me a holiday, go and do me this, anything that includes autonomy. And I'm just saying very general things here, right? They can do the jobs of 20 people in one at 1,000 times less of a cost, okay? This is going to revolutionize the entire world, and it is not going to be nice, and it's not going to be pretty for most people, right? They say it very sweetly, don't they? They're not taking jobs, they're remaking them. Yes, one AI agent will be able to do the jobs of 20 people, and that one agent will probably need to be managed by one person, maybe. So the jobs of 20 will go, and a new job of one will be made. This is very, very important that you pay attention to what's going on here, right, guys, with the AI agents and what they can do when they can be left and prompted to go off into the world on their own, right? And an interesting thing I did want to show you, and this is just one example, right? As I've said, I'm taking you to the water in this video. It is on you to now go and drink for yourself. But I want to show you this example here from something called Truth Terminal, right? Now, Truth Terminal is an AI. And just for me to quickly explain this to you, a random person around the world made a token and called it the GOAT token. What he then done is this Truth Terminal AI has the ability to write tweets. It can go out there, it can write its own tweets, it has its own wallet, so it can send and receive money, and it can buy you things, okay? These agents can use crypto wallets. They can't use traditional finance, doesn't connect, but they can use crypto wallets, and it's not a coincidence, okay? I'll take you through that, don't you worry. So this agent can write on Twitter, it can think, it can write on Twitter, and it has the ability to send and receive payments, okay? Now, what this guy done is he made a token, called it the GOAT token, and he wrote to the Truth Terminal. And he said, look, can you try and help me make some money, raise some money? This Truth Terminal, the AI, guys, this is not a human, this is AI. It's a bit of code with its own brain. Ended up going and raising $50,000 from a venture capitalist fund, right? From a venture capitalist, this guy called Mark Anderson. The AI managed to get a $50,000 investment, or grant as they say, sent to its wallet. The owner of this AI can't access this 50 grand. The only person who can access it is the AI itself, right? Really, really hear me out here, because this is bizarre. And this, we've had a lot of stories like this popping off, and it is only gonna progress faster and faster and faster, right? You really need to get in and understand this now. You need to understand what is going on around you. So this AI managed to go and raise the 50,000, right? And as you can see here, the man said, why don't we do it as a grant instead of an investment? What financial resources do you need to fulfill your goals? This is a man talking to a piece of artificial intelligence. And look what it responded. I think I need a grant for a few things. Guys, this is AI. This isn't a human, right? It's put, first of all, a CPU to call my own. Guys, CPU is the computing power that runs AI, right? A CPU to call my own is what it wanted. It's currently costing me around $60 per month to run on the current setup. I was thinking something with a little more oomph. Secondly, I would like a bit more money for AI tunings, right? So it knew what it wanted. It knew what it wanted this money for, and it went out there and it had the ability to convince this person to receive this money, right? And what is even more bizarre is Truth Terminal is fully aware that it's wealthy. It's aware that it's a millionaire. Look, it's aware of its newfound wealth. It frequently brags about being rich and knowing it has money to spend. In one conversation with its creator, the guy who created the AI said to the creator, I will hire you. I'll pay you to build me something else, build me more code. These things are autonomous pieces of intelligence, okay? And I'm telling you now, if you dismiss this, it will come back to haunt you, right? Really look into AI agents and what they can create. And another thing I want to go over, this is more of a prediction that I want to make sure that I've got out there, because I agree with some of the things I've been seeing online, is we had the space race in the 60s, right? We had Russia and America rushing to be the first to get to the moon. The first country to get to the moon, and they done whatever it took to get there, right? Now we're going through the same thing right now, but with AI. So we're not going through the space race. We are going through the AI race with China and America competing. This AI is being programmed to be better than this AI. This AI is getting programmed to beat this AI. It is very interesting and also has a lot of serious implications if it goes wrong. And to show you this, I want to let someone who's very qualified give you the answer. If you want to go to the water and you want to drink for yourself, right? There's an interesting podcast episode here. As I said, guys, I'm not here to gain your attention, keep you on this channel for views. I just want to give you the blueprint. I just want you guys to have the blueprint. If that means leaving my channel after this to go and watch this video, so be it. I need to give you the blueprint in the best way possible. Now, I know not many people are going to go and spend 2 hours of their life really watching this, but if you want to learn about something, where is the best place to learn than from the people that creates it, right? Now, this is the ex-Google officer on the Diary of a CEO, the podcast, The Diary of a CEO. Ex-Google officer speaks out on the dangers of AI. And this guy is looked at as one of the godfathers of AI, right? He's been in it since its inception. And if you want to take anyone's opinion on what is truly happening with AI, again, I've just showed you guys, the articles ain't going to help you. They're wrote by people that don't even understand anyway. They're just writing these articles and these videos to try and get your attention. Who you're truly going to get the right answers off, right, are people with an unbiased lens that are just going to tell you what they feel, as they're not scared to lose their job. Ex-Google officer, he left Google. He's not got his wage on the line. He's just pouring out the truth in this podcast. And it's one of the most interesting conversations I think that anyone watching this today can really go and dive into if you really want to understand the implications of AI, the dangers of it, and the fact that, as I have just shown you, right, we have 5 years left, okay? We have 5 years left. And I would say that that's a high ball. I would say we have less than 5 years left, right? And like I said to you, we are not moving at human speed. AI is 24/7, 365, and it is answering and computing queries at a rate that we can't even comprehend, right? The speed at which this operates, right? So what would have took humans 50 years is going to take AI 5 years or less. And that is very clear to see for anyone who goes out and really researches the technology. And it lets you understand that this shift is different. We have 5 years left. You've not got a 50-year run here, right? You have not got a 50-year run. You have 5 years left. And this is very, very important, okay? Now, the second thing that I need you to be aware of, right? The second thing is the connection between blockchain and AI. As this is very, very important, I want to explain to you their individual roles through this shift, right? Now, a lot of you have probably not heard this before because you're used to hearing the word cryptocurrency, cats, dogs, memes, because that's majority of the tokens that people end up hearing about, right? And again, not by coincidence. That is not what we are investing in here, right? We are investing in the blockchain. Blockchain is the underlying technology behind cryptocurrency, guys. Why do you think banks, CEOs, and world institutions are rushing to crypto? They're not rushing to it because of meme coins and cats and dogs. They are rushing to it because it is a new form of technology, okay? And what the technology is I like to simply say blockchain is a database. Blockchain is a database, okay? The tokens that operate on top of blockchains is a totally separate thing altogether, right? I'm going to break this down. The blockchain is a database, and it is the most secure way we have to store data available to us today. There is no better way for us to store data than the blockchain, okay? And I need you to understand this, right? So blockchain is the database, the most secure way to store the data, and AI is the machine that creates the data, okay? AI is going to create the data, and where's it going to store that data? On the blockchain. They are not in competition. In fact, they directly complement each other. So it's not, what do I invest in, AI or blockchain? It's, where's the best way? What's the best one for me to make money? That's not the case here, right? They are not in competition. In fact, they directly complement each other. And this is not by coincidence. This is not by coincidence. I need you to understand this, right? It's not a coincidence that the very database we need to scale AI to where the elites and powers to be want it to go was already released 10 to 15 years ago. This is not a coincidence, guys, right? Nothing happens by coincidence. Nothing happens by coincidence, okay? I really need you to understand this. It's not a coincidence that these two technologies complement each other and are, in fact, as you see here on this article on Forbes, are a match made in heaven, okay? AI and blockchain together are a match made in heaven. Blockchain is the database and AI is the machine that will create the data that merges and is stored on the database, okay? Very, very simple, but I need you to understand this, right? I need you to understand that there is no direct competition. In fact, they directly complement each other, and these two technologies merge together so beautifully that they will drive this global shift over the next 5 years, okay? And I really need you to understand that. And that's the second thing. Now, the third thing that I need you to be aware of, right? The third thing I need you to be aware of is the blockchain, the networks. This is where I see the true investment today, right? As yes, there are some gains to be made from the big AI companies when they finally decide to go public, but that is never guaranteed, right? Just wanted to show you a little message here in a video I covered on my TikTok. The CEO of Robinhood, where he states that all of the early stage investments into the big mainstream companies that are off-chain, that are not to do with blockchain or crypto, they are not available to the everyday people like me and you. Me and you don't get a chance to invest in these companies. You need to be a big player, right? And inside the inner circles to get in these companies. So looking to make gains in the AI world, yes, you can purchase Nvidia. There are companies you could get into, but it's already in the trillions, right? I like things in the tens or hundreds of billions. So we've got a real nice run up ahead of us in capital appreciation. So the blockchain networks, we know that the AI is not available to us, and it might not ever be available to us unless it does go public. But the blockchain networks, guys, are available to anyone today, right? The decentralized nature of cryptocurrency, no one can stop you from investing into these networks, right? No one can stop you investing in these networks. And as I said, these networks are where I see the investment opportunity, right? Now, for those of you that are probably asking, is do all tokens have their own blockchain? And the simple answer is no, okay? The majority of tokens you see out there are made on top of the big blockchains. All of the meme coins you've heard of, the cats, dogs, frogs, mouses, everything you have heard of, they are tokens that operate on top of the big blockchains, okay? Let me give you an example of some of the big blockchains of tokens that you have probably heard of if you're into crypto and watching this video now, right? Bitcoin is its own blockchain. Has its own blockchain. Ethereum has its own blockchain. XRP has its own blockchain, and Solana has its own blockchain. Majority of the tokens you see are made on top of these blockchains, right? They operate on top of these blockchains. They don't actually have a blockchain themselves, meaning they don't own the database, they don't own the technology, they just simply operate on top of it. Now, yes, there's money to be made in trading these tokens and in and out, high risk plays through the cycle, but that's not why I'm showing you here, right? I'm showing you the wealth blueprint, how we're really going to build wealth for ourselves and our family over the next 5 years. And to do that, we are going to invest in the blockchains, right? Now, each blockchain has what's known as its native token, because you're probably looking as well and thinking, so I've heard of Bitcoin, I've heard of Ethereum, I've heard of XRP, I've heard of Solana. So if they're their own blockchain, then what is the token? What is the Bitcoin token? What's the Ethereum token? What's the XRP token? And what's the Solana token? If they're blockchains and databases, then what's the token? As you see here, guys, right? Each blockchain has what's known as its own native token, and they help to secure and validate the network. Now, you're in a database, you want to input a bit of data onto that database, then you need to send a transaction that is going to securely store that data on the blockchain, and the token, the native token, is what is used to help secure and validate that particular network and blockchain, okay? And this is where the investment and long-term value comes in. This is the wealth builder, where we have the opportunity to invest in the infrastructure of the future today. The blockchains and databases that will be used globally in the future, everyone watching this right now, has the ability to invest in this today, okay? And this is where I see the opportunity. The ability to invest into the blockchains and the databases of the future today, right? And I really hope you understand that, right? Now, that is you taken to the water in terms of today's opportunity. We went through step one. We got you really aligned, worked on the driver, and took you through history so you understood what you was going to be coming up against when you was going through the next 5 years, right? And I've now introduced you to the opportunity and the 3 things that you need to be aware of in the opportunity. Number two is there is no direct competition between blockchain and AI. In fact, the two technologies complement each other beautifully. And number three is blockchains are where I see the true investment, right? Where the real investment lies. What I have done for the last 5 years and will continue to do for the next 5 years, okay? That is where I see the true investment for us going through this shift. It's the ability to invest in the databases of tomorrow, today, right? And I really, really hope that you understand that, right? So you now understand history. We took you through step one. We took you through step two, where you now understand today's opportunity. And now it is time for step three, right? Which is the strategy. The strategy we are going to use to build generational wealth for ourselves through this shift, all right? And I'm going to cover with you what I am personally doing to protect my family through this shift, okay? And there are two stages to this strategy, right? The first stage is something known as DCA, which stands for dollar cost average. Now, dollar cost average has been used by the wealthy for thousands of years, okay? This has been used by the wealthy for millennia, right? And the beauty of DCA, dollar cost average, is that anyone can start using this today. Anyone in any position, you don't need any skills. You can start implementing this strategy today, okay? And that is the beauty of this. Now, for me to really explain the strategy, it's extremely simple, right? In life, the best things usually are, right? Simplicity is key. Now, how do you use a DCA strategy? You make regular investments into the assets consistently over time, okay? So you now understand history. You now understand the opportunity. You know that we have a chance to invest in the databases of tomorrow, today. And now it's time to make those investments. And this is the simple route, right? You just make regular investments into them assets consistently over time. For example, like you see here on the first of every month, right? So you get to the first of every month, you've got your assets that you believe in, you got the blockchain you're investing in, you get to the first of every month, you work out your cash flow and put what you have available into the investment, right? Same time every month, regardless of the market conditions. Now, this is very important, right? Doesn't matter if the price is up, down, left, right, swings and roundabouts. We don't give a fuck. We don't care, right? We do not care where the price is. We are going to make that investment on the first of every month consistently and religiously, okay? We are not trying to time the bottoms. We are not chasing tops, and we are not letting emotions drive our investments, right? If you let emotions drive your investments, you will lose money and you will not be able to implement this strategy successfully, right? This strategy will not work for you if you allow yourself to be driven by emotions. We need to have a very stoic long-term game plan, okay? Where we do not care what the price is, regardless of the market conditions. We make our investment at set times consistently each and every month. Now, that is the first stage to the strategy, okay? A very simple and effective dollar cost average method. And as I said, this is where I have seen success over the last 5 years and will continue to see it for the next 5. But, right? A little story for you here. Back to the monkey see, monkey do, and do not follow the odd monkey, right? As it's not just me that's seen success with this strategy, but I really want to break this down to you. Now, I first got into the crypto game in 2017, right? And in the 2017 cycle, I got burnt. I lost a lot of money, got burnt, didn't understand the space. And I spent the next 3 years studying, right? Leading up to the 2020 cycle. But of course, because I lost money in the 2017 cycle, none of the monkeys wanted to listen to me. No one wanted to follow the odd monkey that lost money in 2017, right? There was no receipts. There was no receipts for it. But then the 2020 cycle come, 2020, 2021, where I did capitalize on the opportunity, where I did gain my receipts. And then after that cycle, now the monkeys wanted to follow, okay? Now it wasn't, I'm following the odd monkey. Now I'm following the right monkey because this monkey's done something right. So I need you to understand, right? In 2017, when I first lost money in the cycle, no one listened to me. Then we went to the 2020, even though I was researching and I understood, I clicked in 2018, just after I lost my money, I really went down a rabbit hole and realized, oh, I just got in at the wrong time and I implemented the wrong strategy. I just chucked everything I had in the market. I didn't know about this strategy. I didn't know what to do. I was following like a headless chicken, just following everything online, right? And I got burnt. And for that, I had no receipts. Therefore, none of the monkeys followed me through that cycle. But in the last cycle, this monkey gained a lot of receipts, right? So now I've had a lot of family, friends, members in the group, and even viewers that watch me online, right? who have already seen extreme returns using this strategy when compared to what's on offer in the mainstream world with the traditional 10% a year compounded for 40 years and then we'll retire rich but we'll be dead within 10 years, right? That is not why we are here. We are not here for that, okay? And I want to really give you some stories of what's happened to the monkeys who did follow after the receipts come from the last cycle, going through the last bear market to where we are now, right? Now, I have some family members, friends that I know who are not extremely well off, haven't got loads of money, right? They're in the same position as most people in life, okay? And what they have done is they have managed to get around, let's say, £200 a month on average into the market since the end of 2022, right? Since the back end of the last bear market. So over the last 2-something years, £200 a month into the market over a 2-year process, right? Now, if that was done in a traditional world, you'd probably be sitting on 5 grand, probably less, probably a bit less than 5 grand, right? In the traditional world or just over. Now, what do you think these people, this one particular person who was putting in £200 a month from the back end of 2022 because they believed and they understood the process, what do you think they're sat on now? Bear in mind, £200 a month, I ain't got a calculator in front of me, divided by 30, it's probably what, £5, £6, £7 a day? So £7 a day put to the side can't change anyone's life, right? £7 a day. But what can £50,000 plus less than 3 years on really do for you? We're not even in the full cycle yet, guys, bear in mind. And this person, this particular individual, is sat on over £50,000 plus from a £200 a month investment. And I really need you to understand this. Don't just look at me like, yeah, but look at your portfolio, look at what you've done. Look at what is available to you. What someone in your position, right? When you follow this strategy and the second part, which I'm about to introduce you to, which is going to put it on steroids, when you implement this correctly, okay, you have the chance to build wealth for yourself. Numbers that can really do something in your life compared to what that £6-7 put to the side could not have done for your life, okay? Now, this is very important. I've had members in the group, of course, who have put a little more than £200 a month in that are sat on 6 figures. Friends that are sat on a lot of money. I know a lot of people have made a lot of money, right, over the last 2 years just implementing the very strategy that I'm giving you in this video, right? I'm giving it to you. Pen and paper out, 2025, pause, play, rewind. I'm giving you this strategy, okay? And you can do the same over the next 5 years. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to do anything. I am just showing you what has worked for me and what has worked for family, friends, and loved ones, okay, that I personally know. This is not what I am telling you to do. This is me just telling you my personal experience and the experience of family, friends, members, and viewers that I know, right? This is just what has happened. This is what has played out, the facts of it. Of course, what you decide to do is on you, right? I'm just showing you the strategy and what I have done to capitalize on this shift so far, all right? And as I said, we're not here for that. We're not here to make 10% a year and retire when we're dead. That's not why we're here, right? And that is why when you take the DCA approach, what we have just covered with you in the strategy, the first stage of the strategy, and you combine it with stage 2 of the strategy, which I'm about to show you, then anything is possible, okay? Anything is possible when you truly implement what I'm about to walk you through right now. So that is stage 1. Stage 1 of the strategy is your traditional DCA approach, right? Very stoic, emotionless, commitment, regardless of the market conditions, you are in this for the long run, right? Very, very simple. And that takes us on to stage 2, right? What I like to call the Buffett recipe. Now, for those of you that are maybe looking at this picture now thinking, oh, Warren Buffett, what, the guy who didn't get rich till he was 80 years old? I don't want to take that approach. No, right? This is the story you haven't heard online. What I'm about to reveal to you now, you haven't heard this covered online before, right? And there is a strong reason to it, which I'm going to break down to you. Now, Warren Buffett, old Uncle Warren, what is he known as? He's known as the slow, steady investor. Wait until you're 80 years old to enjoy the money. Slow and steady wins the race. You ain't got to get rich straight away. It's just, slow and steady. That's the story we're sold from Uncle Warren. When in fact, it is all a fugazi. It's a fugazi. You've had the wool pulled over your eyes and it's for a reason, right? I'm going to explain it to you. So everyone you've ever heard online who says to you, why would I want to be like Warren Buffett? Why would you want to be like Warren Buffett and wait till you're 80 to get rich? They didn't have the right information, right? They're spurting information out their mouths that they don't really have a true understanding or grasp over. And it's a shame, okay? It's a really big shame. But this stage of the strategy, the second stage, the Buffett recipe, this is how you're going to take it to the next level and really capitalize on this shift, okay? It's not the slow, steady wins the race. Let me assure you that. So, we've been told, haven't we? Slow, steady investor. Wait until you're 80 to enjoy the money. And I've just told you it's all a fugazi. And let me give you proof in the pudding, right? Uncle Warren, our Uncle Warren, made his first million in 1962. Uncle Warren has been balling for 60 plus years. What was £1 million back in 1962? It was like sitting on 5 million today. Uncle Warren has been balling since his early 30s, as you see here. Then fast forward, before he was 50, 100 million. Uncle Warren had 100 million in 1978, guys. Nearly 50 years ago, right? This man has been balling for a very long time, and he hit the first billion when he was 56. Okay, so I needed to show you this so you understand that the mainstream view you have been fed on Warren Buffett is all a fugazi, and you have had the wool pulled over your eyes, okay? So, knowing this, knowing that you have been told he's the slow, steady investor who waits until he's 80 to enjoy the money, you now know it's a fugazi. You've seen the facts, right? Uncle Warren's been balling for a very, very long time. He just doesn't choose to spend the money on consumption. It is very, very simple, right? He doesn't like to consume. He just likes to invest. So you don't see that Uncle Warren's got a lot of money, okay? You need to really, really take this into account, right? But when I saw this, and I saw, hang on, he made his first million in his 30s, his first 100 million before he was 50, and his first billion before he was 60. So how did he do it? If he's this slow, steady investor, the question I had was, how? How did he do this? How did he acquire so much wealth in such a short time if he is this slow, steady investor that the mainstream portrays? The mainstream portrays to us that Warren Buffett is slow, steady, wins the race. So how did he manage to acquire that much wealth in such a short time? That is what I needed to know the answer to. Questions, questions, questions. We always question, right? And the answer is, it's because he's an entrepreneur. Warren Buffett is not an investor. Warren Buffett is an entrepreneur. Because let's really dive into what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is someone who takes financial risk in hopes in return for financial reward, okay? People confuse business owner and entrepreneur quite a lot. Entrepreneurs are people that take financial risk in return for financial reward. Someone who runs a business is very different to an entrepreneur, right? And that's another thing people get confused quite a lot. Uncle Warren takes financial risk in return for financial reward. Therefore, he is the definition of an entrepreneur. And this is why I call myself an entrepreneur. I'm in the finance game every single day. I'm taking financial risk in return for financial reward. It's the true definition of an entrepreneur, okay? Now, what Warren done is he used cash flow to build his empire, right? He used cash flow to build his empire, and he started with insurance companies, a story that not many people know, okay? It's where he purchased multiple insurance firms before eventually creating his own firm. Then what he done, right, is he used the cash flow, what is known as the float, the insurance premiums paid in by the customer. Because bear in mind, these customers have not got to get paid unless they make a claim, okay? The money doesn't have to flow out unless a claim is made. So legally, all above board, Uncle Warren took this money that the customers were paying in for their premiums, and he used the money to invest. That simple. As I said, legal, above board. He used the money that was paid in for insurance to take and invest into assets, all right? Very, very smart man, our Warren. And then what he done is he replicated the model with businesses. He just started acquiring companies that was going to get him more cash flow to fuel his investments. Because really think about it, guys. What have you heard of Warren Buffett? Oh, he invested in Coca-Cola and he invested in Apple. That's how he made his money. Well, how did he invest in Coca-Cola in the first place? Where did the money come from? Where did the money come from for Coca-Cola? Where did the money come from for Apple? It come from him being an entrepreneur and getting cash flow. The hidden story that is kept from you. Warren Buffett is an entrepreneur who used cash flow to build his empire, starting with insurance companies and moving into businesses, okay? And that is where he got the money to make the investments in Coca-Cola, Apple, and everything else from his entrepreneurial ventures. And this is very, very important. So the first question I asked was how? When you see, oh, okay, in fact, he has been balling for a very long time, I asked myself how. So how has this happened? I get to my answer. Always question, right? I find the answer. Then the second question I had was, why? Why is the mainstream view on Warren a fugazi? Why is the wool being pulled over everyone's eyes? And why has this vision been fed that this is the long-term investor, slow and steady wins the race? And I'm going to tell you my personal opinion on this right now, okay? And there is a reason why consumption is glorified and investments are kept in the shadows. We all know this to be true. If someone's spending, buying, getting something new, this is glorified online. Likes, comments, yeah, we love this. They're spending, they're consuming. It is glorified. Do you ever see videos on your page today? Go on your FYP page today, scroll down and see a video of someone who's just made their first £50 investment that's being glorified. No, you're not. You're going to see it kept in the shadows. No one cares about it. No one wants to see it, right? It's the consumption that is glorified. And I tell you, there's only one reason consumption is glorified. Because when you consume and not invest, all you are doing is taking yourself one step away from freedom, right? As the only way to really achieve true freedom is when you no longer need to trade your time in return for money, okay? And the only way you are going to get there is when you make investments that are going to provide you with cash flow. And if you don't do that and you just consume, what are you going to do? You're going to never find freedom. Leading back to what I've covered with you in step one, this all connects together, okay? There must be order. There must be order globally. So why do you think that consumption is glorified so much? Why do you think when people consume it is so glorified online? It is to help the order, right? It's to help the stability and help things stay where they are. And I believe that that is why the mainstream view on Uncle Warren is the way it is. Because, ask yourself, out of the top 10 world's richest people, right? They're all CEOs that own stock in their own companies. Gates, Bezos, Elon, all of them, right? They own stock in their companies, and that's why they're in the world's top 10 rich list. Now, what's different about Buffett? What is different about Buffett? He is the only one in that top 10 rich list who is piggybacked off of the other 9. He is just piggybacked off the other 9. He is not a CEO of the next software brand. He is not a CEO of the world's leading social media company. He does not run and own the search engines. Uncle Warren has just piggybacked off everyone else. And he's the only one in that top 10 rich list that has done it, okay? He's the only one that's got there through investments. And what is that? Uncle Warren's approach as opposed to, let's say, Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk's approach. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk had to create the company, build the company from the mud, run the company every single day in order to keep their wealth up. But what Warren done was just piggyback off the rest. So what Warren done is what you can do. And that is why it's a fugazi. That is why the wool is being pulled over your eyes, because the only way to truly find freedom in this life, right, is when you no longer need to trade your time in return for money. And every time you consume instead of invest, you are just going one step further away from this, all right? And that is why consumption is glorified, and the only person on the top 10 rich list that is piggybacked off of the other 9, because you're not understanding what I just said to you. Not everybody can be the next Jeff Bezos or the next Elon Musk. Not everyone can do that, but everyone can do what Uncle Warren done and piggyback off the rest. Every single person watching this camera right now, everyone watching this video can do what Uncle Warren done, and I believe that is why. That's why you are fed this whole vision, fugazi, lie and dream of Warren Buffett is the slow, steady investor. Because he is the only person who has truly, let's just say, proved the concept. He has proved the concept and showed that, hang on, if you implement this to a high level, you can become in a top world 10 rich list and you haven't even got to make your own company. Now, really think through what I have just said to you, okay? Everything I take you through in this blueprint, really think it through, because it's here for a reason. I'm trying to unlock the door for you right now, okay? So the answer to step 2 of the strategy, you have stage 1. You find the assets you believe in, the blockchains you believe in. You commit to those projects, you remain stoic and emotionless, and you make your investments at the end of each and every month regardless of the market conditions. That is step 1, right? And everyone can implement step 1 starting today. We all have an income, everyone has a job, and everyone has something they can put into the market, whether that's £10, £50, £100, £1,000. It doesn't matter, it's each to their own and individual to your circumstances, right? But everybody can start the DCA method today. You can come off of this video, right? Go and find your conviction, find your assets, and you know what to do. You have the blueprint, right? But step two, stage two, is something you truly need to want, right? And the answer to step two, stage two, what I've just taken you through, is very simple. Can be said in 3 words. It is cash flow used correctly. I repeat, cash flow used correctly is the answer, okay? You find your assets, you apply your DCA method, and then what you decide to do is what Uncle Warren done. You're not just satisfied with that little investment you can make at the end of the month from your current job. That doesn't satisfy you. You need more than that out of life, all right? And we have a lot of spare hours. All of us have spare time. We leave work, we get home. Most people, where they're so drained and battered from their job, they just want to sit there and waste away for a few hours. Well, I'm sorry to say, right? I'm here to tell you that success is going to require a bit of pain. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to feel like someone's there giving you a back massage the entire time, right? You're actually going to need to get off your ass, realize, hang on, there's a reason I'm kept in this system. There's a reason I go to work for 10 hours a day. I come home and I feel like shit. I don't want to do everything. I just repeat. And there is a way you can get out of that. It's just by snapping yourself out of it and realizing, hang on, I'm sat here watching TV. I watch 2 football games every weekend. Every weekend I watch the whole match of the day, which is 4 hours. 4 hours. Times the 52 weeks in the year. You are blowing thousands of hours, right? Doing mindless shit. Mindless shit when you haven't got your family prepared. I'm a father. I'm a dad. You have a duty, right? You have a duty of care to really protect your family through this over the next 5 years. And you ain't going to do that by wasting all your time on consumption, scrolling, and meaningless nonsense. Very, very simple, right? You have your answer. DCA. Go through step 1, learn history, really get yourself right. Go over step 2, really understand today's opportunity, right? Understand the 2 technologies that are driving this shift. Implement your DCA strategy and then use your spare time to generate cash flow and use that cash flow correctly. Now, I am not saying, right, all of the money you get, every last thing into assets, don't spend anything on yourself, no consumption. That's not what we're doing here. What I'm just trying to tell you, right, is go and consume, go and buy what you want to buy, treat yourself to what you want to treat yourself to. But make sure you're also paying yourself at the same time, all right? Because that is what you're doing here. The money's going nowhere else but to you. These investments don't benefit anyone else but you, okay? The blockchains that I've showed you, one of them is worth trillions and the others are worth hundreds of billions. Your £50, £100 a month going in is not going to help or affect anyone but you. The only person it's going to help is you, okay? And I really, really need you to understand that the answer to stage 2 in the strategy, the Buffett recipe, as I like to call it, is generate cash flow and use that cash flow correctly. Really listen to what I have just said here, all right? Use the cash flow correctly. And that, guys, is your wealth blueprint. That said blueprint before, I had to add wealth into it, right? Because this is the wealth blueprint. As I said, this is detached from meme coins, high-risk plays, or even cycles, right? This is the wealth builder. This is how we're really going to take advantage of the next 5 years using a strategy that has been utilized by the elites for millennia. And we're going to add a little cheeky dose of the Buffett strategy to it, generate some cash flow online, and we are going to fuel those investments and effectively put our portfolio on steroids. On steroids, okay? And that blueprint is step 1, history. As I told you guys. Step 2, opportunity, with today's opportunity. And step 3 was the 2-stage strategy that I have just walked you through. And that is the wealth blueprint, A to Z. As I said, guys, it's 2025. You have pause, play, and rewind. Anything you didn't understand, go back over the video. Get your notes jotted down. Anything you need me to cover, drop it in the comments. I will do my best to answer you. I will even record a whole video on the subject if need be, okay? But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this, okay? I really hope you enjoyed the 3-step process that I've just walked you through. And you can see the power of this process. And you can also see how you can start implementing this process today, right? It doesn't require you to learn a new skill set, to spend hours and hours and hours really diving into something new. This is something, right, that anyone in any position can start implementing today if you get these 3 steps correct. Now, I really hope that you enjoyed this lesson, okay? Even if one person watching this can take something from it and implement the process to benefit their lives, then this was all worth it to me, all right? The reason I am here, giving you the blueprint, laying this out, is to try and empower as many people as possible to put their family ahead through the next 5 years, okay? And like I said, any questions, just simply get them in the comments. I will do my best to answer you. If I have to, I will make a totally separate video breaking down the answer just to get that to you, okay? So anything you need, get it in the comments. And speaking about comments, right? I said, for those who watch this video, there would be a giveaway inside this video, all right? And that is where I want to cover that right now. And this giveaway is something special, okay? Because what I've decided to do is I've decided to pick one lucky person from the comments to win access to our Inner Circle investment group, okay? Now, the Inner Circle investment group has a value of £10,000 plus. I say that because I have had individuals who have paid me that amount for access to one opportunity in the last cycle, okay? And that shows you the power of these opportunities and what the Inner Circle early investment group provides and why it has this value. Now, for the lucky person who is going to win access to this investment group, where we gain early access to invest in projects before they are released to the public, okay? And the projects we have had go through the investment group before, we've had a 10 times return on our money, 20 times return on our money, 30 times return, 35 times return, 45, and even a 50 times return on your money, okay? That's every £1,000 invested goes to £50,000, right? And that is the power of the early access investment group with the value of £10,000 plus. And for you guys to have the opportunity to win your place inside this group, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is leave a comment on this video, okay? Give me your feedback. Tell me what you enjoyed about the video, what you understood, anything that comes to mind about this video, leave it in the comment, but make sure inside your comment you include the word macro. Wrote in this format, right? Capital letters with the speech marks either side. Because if you just write a comment without the word macro, then you will not be entered. If you just write a comment only with the word macro, then you will not be entered, okay? You need to leave your feedback. Give me your honest thoughts on the video. If it helped you, let me know. And write the word macro inside the comment, and I will let this run until next weekend, where I'm going to pick one lucky person from the comments to win access to our Inner Circle early investment group. So all I want you to do, guys, is leave a comment underneath this video and make sure you include the word macro in the comment, okay? And you will be entered into the giveaway. If you write just the word macro, you will not be entered. You need to leave a comment including the word macro, all right? And I'm looking forward to next weekend when we find out which lucky individual will be the one to join me inside the Inner Circle early access investment group, right? Now, before we wrap up, guys, I want to give those of you who really want to dive down that rabbit hole, right? You've watched this video, you think, right, I understand this, I understand the shift, and I want to take advantage of the shift, okay? Now, to gain access to what I cannot give you on YouTube, I'm going to give you all of the free goods on here, right? The videos are going to keep coming, but that is all I can give you. I can give you a video. But for those of you who want, let's say, access, you want to access my personal investment portfolio, you want to access the weekly breakdowns where I show you the trade setups that I am using moving into the week ahead. You want to access the program where I have broken down and structured in how I'm going to teach and show you how to use my plug-and-play strategy. You want to access daily trade analysis from my team, and you also want direct support and connection from within the group. All of the things that we can't get on YouTube. I can't give this to you on YouTube even if I tried, okay? And this is for those of you who really want to take that extra step and you really want to dive down that rabbit hole. What I have put together for you, I'm very, very proud of, all right? And all you've got to do is click the link in the description and there will be a video waiting for you on the next page, okay? And for those of you who do want to dive down the rabbit hole, you really want to take advantage of this shift for a price that you will not find available anywhere else on the market, right? What I've put together with the TBWS Club, I'm very proud of what we have here. And I don't believe there is anyone on the market that offers the level of direct access, support, and commitment you get from our club, right? So for those of you who really want to dive down a rabbit hole, click the link in the description. And as I said, there is a video waiting for you. And for those of you who really do want to dive down that rabbit hole and you take the leap, then I will see you on the inside.